Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. I'm going to show you how to export or extract at least MIDI information from audio files. On another note, I've got some new headphones. I bought the DT990s and they're really cool. I've got the KRKs as well, which I use a lot. If anything, I find these are probably more comfortable. They're slightly darker than I find the KRKs were, or slightly less highs, I think, just from I've only had them a couple of days, so I haven't really had time to really get used to them, but I find them really good. One thing I would say, if you're looking at getting some referencing headphones, obviously it's always good to check your mix on monitors as well, but also with these, they didn't come with, the 990s didn't come with the with a case, only a really soft padded, not padded, really soft case. So I bought on eBay just for £10 a little headphone case as well that goes with it, and that's cool. So it means I can travel around with them, which is cool. So recently I was working on a Christmas song for someone. Someone asked me to record a traditional Christmas song on the guitar. Originally I was going to do it on acoustic guitar, but I had an electric guitar on me, I had my Strat, and I thought, well, I'm just going to record it in. So I had some music, so I recorded it in to Cubase just on a mono audio track, and then I added a reverb channel and stuff like that, a bit of compression just to level things out, and it sounded all right, but it kind of lacked something, and I thought what it could do with is some sort of layer behind, like an atmospheric pad and perhaps a choir behind. And because I didn't record it to a click, I wasn't sure how I was going to exactly get those chords in over the top. So what I thought I'd try is extracting MIDI from the audio. Now it actually worked reasonably well. I was quite happy. One thing I found was if it's polyphonic or a chord-based audio information, Cubase had trouble working out the chords. I think there are better software for doing that, like Melodyne. I don't know if you've come across that, but that certainly, from all reports, works very well. I think Ozone might do something as well along a similar line, where it'll actually work out the chords as you play, say, a guitar chord or a piano chord. It'll actually analyse the chord and split it up for you, which is, it's fantastic that can do that. Cubase does do a very similar thing, but perhaps on a slightly lesser scale. But what I did was I extracted the whole of the solo guitar information and found the root note of each chord came out very strongly as MIDI. So with a bit of editing, I deleted everything but the root, and that left me the root note where I knew the chord should go, and then I just stacked the chord. It only took me 5 minutes, and it was I played it for quite some time because it was a YouTube video I was doing, or the music for someone, and they wanted atmospheric guitar for sort of 12 minutes. So I was able to extract the root note and then build the chord up. But all I've done here in Cubase, I've imported this loop from just Cubase's own sample library. So just on the right hand zone, get my left and right mixed up, but on the right hand zone under media, you have all of these sample libraries that come with Cubase. Obviously you can add your own as well, but I just chose something relatively simple, which was a guitar line. In fact, I can play it to you, so I'll just get rid of that. I've soloed this because this has got nothing to do with the project that's running. I just thought let me just bring it up to the middle a bit, and I'm just going to make that slightly bigger. Okay. So basically it is, it's a lead line, so it should work this out quite well. Okay, so, but this could be anything. This could be a vocal line that you've recorded. It could be a guitar line. It could be, any instrument. And I think the way I imagine this working well for people is to pad out information. So if you've got a lead line or you've got a bit of information recorded in audio, but you just want it to be stronger, or you want it to have an atmospheric sound behind it, something like I needed for the project I was doing, it worked extremely well for that. I suppose the other thing is if you want to score out information, so say you don't want to notate every note, but someone's asked you for the guitar score of the guitar line you've done, you could actually extract the MIDI file and then open it up, in Sibelius or Dorico or Even in Cubase has got a scoring function, which we could perhaps look at that at some point. So anyway, I've just dragged an audio file in. Now if I'm just going to double click on this audio event itself, and this brings up my lower zone, which I'm then just going to expand out, and this is still just the audio information. So one thing you could do from here, if you've recorded this in live, is look at sorry, I was confused by the left hand side. Look at going to audio warp and then free audio. Do you remember we looked at that before? And you can actually, if you wanted, tidy up some of the note lengths and stuff. Or you could do this later on in the MIDI, it doesn't matter at all. But if you wanted to tidy up the audio. But what we're going to look at, the thing that confused me, I was looking for the MIDI section, but that's under Vary Audio. Now, under Vary Audio, we click this drop down, and at the bottom you see here it says Functions, and here's Extract MIDI. Now, I've got a problem in the fact that it won't let me do that yet. The reason being is you have to go to Edit Vary Audio there. So can you see along here, Edit Vary Audio? And what that does, Cubase analyzes the audio and works out the pitch. So it's almost done the job for us already. So can you see here, it's worked out the pitch of each note. If you wanted to go to get the MIDI more accurate with this, you could do certain things, like if you did Control A, you can actually straighten any curves. You can quantize the pitch, so which will bring it all exactly onto pitch. You can straighten the notes and things like that, and that will I suppose make it, Cubase's MIDI extraction even easier for it to work out. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it as it is, and we'll see what sort of what it makes of it. So now I've done this. So now I've gone to Vary Audio, I've clicked on Edit Audio, and you'll see these different colours come up. So this has worked it out now on the, I suppose, like a piano roll here. And now under Functions, hopefully, I can go Extract MIDI, which I can. This gives you quite a few different options here. I found what worked really well with me, certainly for the project I just did, was use I didn't want to use pitch bend data, so that's it, sorry, just notes and no pitch bend data, because I was playing guitar and any vibrato I was using was fine in the audio, but I was just making a pad, sort of like a choir pad sound underneath. I didn't want any of that pitch bend data to influence the sample library I was using for that. So I'm just going to do just notes and no pitch bend data. But obviously, by all means, look at the different ones, experiment, try them all, and see which one works best for your audio that you've got. And dynamic velocity, I am going to use that. So that's how hard you hit each note. It will try and work out the dynamic velocity for that as well in MIDI. So I'm just going to OK this. Fingers crossed, somewhere along here. Let me just get rid of that lower zone. Remember, you can do Control-Alt-B to get rid of that lower zone. Somewhere along here, here you go. It's made it. So if I just drag this up and expand this out a bit, can you see that kind of, if we look at those hit points, it's made hit points for that as well, which is great. Now, have I got, well, I've got Pad Shop here, and I've a synth with nothing aligned to it. So I'm just going to take that into Pad Shop actually. Just drag him up. So now we can hear, that was the original data we had. Now in Pad Shop, let me just go to edit this. Let's see what we can find. The trouble I might have in Pad Shop is the fact that it's there's a lot of pads and stuff in this, but how strange is this going to sound? Okay, very strange. I'm just going to add a new instrument really quickly, just to see what else we've got. Hallion Sonic, add track. Do you remember before we looked at how we add instruments in Cubase? You can use that add, or you can right click. What I'm going to go to here is perhaps, well, it's on Mellogram, so I'm just going to stick with that. Okay, so I've now made a Mellogram piano. So that's probably going to be more interesting to see how well it actually took this information. So let me turn that. Okay, that sounded alright. Let's just double click on that and have a look. Okay, one thing I noticed as well, this is what happened with me, because I used the velocity information as well, I found it was very low because I played the guitar quite softly. So if we do Control A, we can actually, bring up the velocity as well. So I'm highlighting them all and just dragging that up, and it just by using that drag function. So I click Control A so they're all highlighted, and the reason I just moved vertically here to bring it up, everything is still relative to how hard the note was hit. Okay, now let's have a quick listen. And that's against the original. That's not bad. And then if you were looking at creating a pad with it or something, of course you can add any synth to that. I've just put it on a piano because it had quite a fast attack to hear how well it triggered. But you can set that to any instrument you wanted. And then of course experiment with having a lead line, perhaps with a really reverbed little layer or a pad behind. This is quite staccato or choppy notes, I suppose, so probably less useful for that, but I wanted to show you the function. So basically, if we just recap, you've got to have some audio in order to extract the MIDI. You double click on it. Don't forget you can use audio warp and free warp or whatever just to tidy up timing if you wanted to, but it's under here, vary audio, and don't forget it won't do anything until we edit the vary audio. So edit vary audio, and when this is highlighted we can go to extract and then experiment with those as well if you wanted. You know, if it's say a vocal with nice vibrato and you wanted the pitch to try the pitch bend, things like that. And then of course you've got dynamic velocity, but you can also use fixed velocity if you wanted it to be to come out at a fixed velocity, your MIDI file. And then it's just destination first selected track, it's just going to create it on a different track, and then you can assign it to a MIDI file or whatever you want. You can drag it into any place you want. So that's extracting MIDI from audio in Cubase. I'll probably go and look at this a bit more because I know there's a few other things you can do. Well, one thing I know you can do is set a chord track up then, and because you've got your information in vary audio now, you can actually change the audio note to be in relation to the chord. So perhaps we'll try that in a different video as well. But that's how I, certainly in my last project, I extracted MIDI from audio. Good luck.